Welcome back to another episode of 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches. Today we're going to be working from the Creative Memories idea book here, and we're going to be working from page 33. And so this sketch has 3 photos. 2 of them are 4x4 and 1 is a 4x6 in the middle, along with some decorative elements, die cuts, embellishments, and borders along the way. And I am working with the Party Time collection, or remnants of the Party Time collection. I'm getting down towards the end of it, so I am trying to use up and be as creative with what I have remaining as possible. Today I'll be working with photos from my daughter's 18th birthday party. And when you're 18, you don't really have a birthday party, but you have celebrations, you go out to eat, spend time, and do all the things that are new to an 18-year-old. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. You can kind of see I have a rough idea or outline of what I'm thinking of doing, and then we're going to kind of go from there. I am using one of the, and these are sometimes can be difficult and challenging to use, but these are the decorative pages that in theory you should just be able to put your photos on, and away you go and go with how it looks. And I've done that to a certain extent. This one does have a little bit of decorations up on the upper edge. You can rotate it around to showcase it wherever you need it to meet your needs. I'm going to glam that up a little bit with some leftover border stickers that I have to just give it a little bit more of a dimensional feeling to the page as well. And then I did have some leftover paper as well from the collection that I'm going to actually be kind of enhancing the border at the bottom. This one looks like it's just a 12x3 strip of paper, and then a border sticker or some type of decorative edge along by the 2 pieces of paper that meet, along with some decorative elements in the middle. I have a laser cut border that I was going to use across the bottom of the page, and then we'll see if I have anything that I can come up with for something to kind of make a focal point to do that trio look on the page as well. So I've pre-cut a lot of things already, and I've already kind of cut stickers out around it. So we're going to go with that. This was a matte pack that I ended up cutting down, and I'm going to use that on top of some navy cardstock to fill in around here. And so what I'm going to first start out with is I'm going to start mounting the things that make the most sense. So we're going to get the photos in the right spot on where we want them, because like I said, I've already kind of pre-cut everything. And then we're going to put some of the borders on here, and we'll start to see how the page comes together. So let me get my adhesive, and as we all know, as soon as you start using it, it will run out. So I'm expecting that to happen to me today, because it looks like I'm getting towards the end of it. And with my 18-year-old album, I am trying to stay current with all of her items and her activities that she's got going on, as she will be going off to college in the fall of 2024. So that is about the same time that I have kind of told myself that is where I stop, is I'll get you to the 18, and then after that I may do a little bit more, but for the most part I'll get the child to 18, and then if they want to pick up and continue scrapbooking, that is completely and totally up to them how they want to do their memory keepings. I've got 2 other kids behind this one, so I've got plenty to keep myself busy. And I kind of, if you'll notice, I kind of did, this is the reverse image of it. And I was thinking of potentially sliding it either up further, or just a little bit of a different look and feel to what is normally you'd have it all kind of even and pile itself up. But I was thinking in my head that I would most likely try to move some of it around, just to give it a little bit of a different look and feel. And if you've ever tried to kind of pre-plan pages before, one of the things that I have noticed is that one day as I am planning them, it all goes the way that I think so in my head. And then days later, or however length of time later that you actually go to putting them together, things take a different turn and your thought process goes a different direction. So that happens from time to time too. Like I have good intentions of trying something, but then at the end of the day, I realize that's not gonna work and we're gonna try a different theory. So I kind of like squishing it closer up to the top. So I'm thinking I'm gonna put it here. And again, it's really just, you could wait and try to put it together and see what looks better with all of the photos kind of laid out and in place. But I'm just gonna put it down and see what happens. And I do have the laser border that I did try to strategically cut so that there was just a little bit of an edge to the top and the bottom. And I'm gonna hold off on putting this on here because I will likely want to raise it up a little bit. And so I'm just gonna have to put the adhesive or the little foam tape on the back of this. And now let's do the matte card for where I'm gonna put the journaling once I get to that. And if you've been watching me for a while, I like to batch things together. So I get all of my pages put together, pulled together, and then I will batch all of the journaling together and put that all on, I do it all on the computer. And so I'll do a bunch of journaling on the computer, print it out, and then I will attach everything to the pages. Okay, so I'm trying to lay this out a little bit to kind of see what it's gonna look like. And the sketch itself did have kind of a border around it, but because I'm using the decorative paper behind it, I kind of skipped that piece of it. And I'm not doing any of the color blocking or anything like that either. So I think I've got some options, right? I can push everything to the edge because I didn't do that. And I might do that because of how this mat is kind of coming together, where I can leave a little bit of a border around it and it won't look off because of anything else that I have kind of going on the page, which means I probably need to shimmy this top photo over a bit too to kind of give it that look. Then so I think I like that. I like to push that to the edge so that you don't really notice any of the, like everything can kind of be spaced correctly. So now what I'm going to do is, let's see, I'm going to have to take a bunch of stuff off of here. I'm going to put the sticker along this edge. And I'm just trying to use up extra items that I have that I had used on another page and thought that this would be a good way to kind of add a little bit of a border to the page. I'm just trimming it. And I could add a second one to it. I think I like that how it is. And then I believe what I was thinking is that I was going to try to raise these up as well and kind of give that three-dimensional look once I get the photos on the page. So I think next step is we're gonna put the photos on and get those squared away. I did have to put these in very specific, spots on the page. Just based on how the photos came together. I didn't have to crop a lot of it. I kind of left them, and then I'm slowly just covering up the pieces that don't necessarily matter. And there we go, we ran out. Now, one thing to do every time you change your tape runner, one thing you'll want to look for is to make sure that the little knob here, this thing, is in place. A lot of times that can break from time to time, and then it's harder to get your tape out of there. So I'm gonna actually put that aside. I got more right here. Okay. And I could raise this up too. I don't know that I'm going to though, because I'm gonna raise up some other items on the page too. So I'm gonna get this even so that it's got about the same amount of space on the 3 sides, and then I will put this picture in to kind of even it out. And then I just have to see if I can get some type of equal distance between the top and the bottom, along with keeping that same amount of space along the mat pack and not really covering up anything else. So we got that. And then we're gonna put some foam tape here. I've got some leftovers from a card kit, so just gonna see what we can do. The squares would be nice for this piece, just because it's easy to pull them off and stick them down. These ones are kind of bigger, but I'm gonna make them work. And I am gonna actually put them across the whole thing. Typically I don't do this, but this time I will, so that it doesn't collapse so much. All right, then we're gonna do the best that I can to try to line this up, because once it goes down, it's going down. And it looks like it's gonna overhang the edge. It's just a smidgen. I'm okay with that. It'll be fine. Okay, and that looks nice, nice 3-dimensional. Okay, so then what I had is on this journaling box, I was also going to put the how old are you and then a candle sticker that I had left over. Oops. So I got that here, and I'm not going to take the back off yet because I'm going to kind of figure out what I want to do with this, because it's going to need to go on the sketch. They've got it kind of bleeding off the page, and then kind of like a little title or ribbon that you could technically write on, but I'm going to use a sticker with some words and it's not going to be centered, and I'm okay with that, but I do want them to somehow be connected. So that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I kind of like the candle on top. So the question is where does the candle go? And then where do you have to place the words to make it kind of bleed off? So, okay, now I just got to get it to connect right. All right, then let's put I'm actually going to cut these down. I could put the whole thing on there, but it's kind of a lot. They're thick, like wide. And I will do one more in the middle, because that is a sticker and I don't want it to squish down and have that stick to the middle of the page. So this is what we're gonna have here. And so it's not gonna be, it'll look kind of centered, but the candle will bleed and touch the top one. And then we'll have that, and then I can have journaling underneath it. And then over here, let's see, we've got these crazy little things. I don't know if I like them upside. I kind of like them this way. And you can make a wish. And I will probably have it try to touch one of the photos like that. Okay, and then I do have these enamel hearts that I was going to add to this as well. don't have anything down here yet. The border itself is pretty busy, so technically I could leave it as it is, or I did bring out, this is actually what I was thinking too. I have containers, or what these were, or they could have been photo containers, but I use them to kind of keep all my stuff together. I do have lots of different flowers and some buttons that could be used to try to draw something decorative down towards this bottom section. So I'm gonna try to see what looks the best with the papers and what I have. These are either leftovers or part of other collections or kits or other companies' flowers. And so I do have some that are like a teal that would match and bring in some color from elsewhere. So let me see if I can make some of these come to life as I dig through these flowers. Kind of pulled these out at the last minute as an option, so I haven't really tried anything with them yet. So I'm just gonna pull a bunch of things out and see what looks good and see if any of them will stay there. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. And don't be afraid to flip some of the flowers over. Sometimes you might like the back side better than you like the front side. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with a variety. And then I usually will use brads, or people have been known to use eyelets too. I like brads because they're quieter. So let me see. I have some gold ones. Let me grab 3 gold ones. I'm gonna get my little owl out, and I think everything's stuck on the page, so that helps. And now I'm just gonna strategically place these. And I'm just gonna poke a little hole through here to get it started, and I will work one at a time. And then if you do use brads or eyelets, you do have to be cognizant about what's on the other side of the page. So if you're working on albums that where you're using the same color or the same sheet of paper for both sides, you'll want to know that and not poke through the paper unless you have a plan to cover it up. And that takes a lot of brain power in my world. So a lot of times what I would do is just take the flower, stick the brad through, and then put the brad on the flower, and then put the flower on the page. That's one option to try to still have the same look and feel, but be able to use fewer pieces of paper and remove some of the bulk from albums. That's an option. And then you just have to have some really strong glue to make sure it stays on the page. Okay. And there we go. It's not necessarily down here by the laser border. Could I have moved it down there? Yes, I could have, but I'm still getting that trio effect here. I do have some decorative stuff here, and then most importantly of all, I've got a page that's completed, and I was using up some of my leftover stash of miscellaneous parts and pieces for the Party Time collection. So thank you for joining me today, and join me next time for another episode of 101 Scrapbooking Ideas and Sketches.